But if you're not my boyfriend, here and up, here and up. Oh, you wanted lower back? You gotta upgrade your subscription, homie. What's up, guys? It's Jasmine, but my subscribers call me Jazz. And if you're anything like how I am, you have a bad habit of getting attached too quickly. But that's okay, because that's why you're here. That's why I'm here, because we're gonna learn how to set some boundaries. Okay, say it with me: boundaries. So in today's video, I'm sharing 5 boundaries that you can use in dating to keep yourself from getting attached so quickly, so easily to somebody you just met. You ready? Let's go. First things first, when you first meet this person and you know that both of you have the intention on one day dating each other, before y'all even get into the process of like getting to know each other and going on dates, lay out your boundaries in the very beginning. That way they're not blindsided down the line. This just makes sure that they know what to expect and how to go about treating you. It helps them be more intentional about how they treat you. And then if they can't handle some of your boundaries, you won't waste any time. But make sure you tell them the boundaries in the first place. That way you don't get like weeks into getting to know this person and then a boundary pops up and they're like, whoa, I didn't know this is what I was getting myself into, and then they decide to dip, and then because you got attached so easily, you're hurt, when if you would have just laid your stuff out in the beginning, it wouldn't be an issue. So I say that to say, let them know what it is in the beginning. Boundary number 1. Now this is something that might rub some people the wrong way, but hear me out. Stop talking every day. What is there to talk about all day, every day? Whether that be texting, on the phone, FaceTime. On the phone and FaceTime are a little bit better than texting, because texting you tend to do throughout the day. A lot of people never make it past the talking phase, and one of the reasons is because you guys get burned out from talking every day, or at least the other person gets burnt out from talking to you every day. And talking all the time creates this illusion that you guys are super close just because you know all of their favorites and you know their basic autobiography, but how well do you really know them? Can you tell me how they act when they get angry? Do they like to hit things? Do they like to hit people? How do they act when they're stressed? How do they manage their stress? Do they like to turn to unhealthy habits? Do they turn to healthy habits? When they're upset, how do they treat you? Do they talk to you crazy? Do they know how to communicate effective even if they're upset? How do they treat strangers? What are some of their bad habits, their good habits? What are their mannerisms? How can you tell how they're feeling? These are some things that you learn after spending time with this person and not just texting or talking on the phone every single day. It's also a lot more realistic to not talk to this person every day, because do you talk to your friends every day? Probably not, unless you go to school with them and you see them every day. But like on the phone, give yourself a break, give them a break. It just makes it that much more exciting when you do get to talk to them the next time. Boundary number 2, restrict your availability. When you restrict the days and times that you're available, whether that be to hang out, whether that be to talk on the phone, it forces them to be more intentional about how they go about making time to see you or speak to you. So this will weed out anybody who doesn't want to put forth an effort to talk to you or to see you. When you show someone that you're always available, they're going to take advantage of that, and they're going to do what they want to do, and then they're going to use the leftover time for you. And that's why sometimes you'll get text messages from people at 2 a.m. talking about, you up? And that's when you hit them with the no, I'm asleep, sorry. You are not 7-Eleven designed for their convenience. Put some pressure on them. For example, you can tell somebody that you're talking to, hey, after 10 p.m., I don't talk to people of the opposite sex, or it's just a boundary I have to make sure that things stay, because some people like to be weird and creeps and let's play 21 questions, like all that immature stuff. We know how some people get late at night and we don't need any of that. But anyways, for example, tell that person, hey, after 10 o'clock, I'm not available to talk. And then that person can go, okay, dang, well, I get off of work at 5. I go to the gym around 6. I don't really get home until 7:30, and then I take my shower. And by that time, it's around 8. And then they'll be like, all right, so can I call you around 8 then? I'll make sure I'll text her at 8 o'clock, rather than them doing everything they want to do and then like putting you on the back burner. This is also a lot more realistic because sometimes we're busy and our schedules clash, but when you care about somebody, you make time for them. They will make time for you, you will make time for them based on their availability. This is also a taste of the real world where sometimes people are not compatible because their schedules just don't work and you're not able to give that person the attention they deserve. A lot of people don't realize that time availability is something that makes people incompatible. So yeah, restricting your availability, not to be like malicious and say like, I want you to break your back to see me, but just to restrict your availability. If you have priorities that you like to take care of, protect your time. Don't be out here, oh, he goes to work at 8 a.m., but at 8 a.m. I do my devotional time with God. I guess I can move my devotional time to a later time so I can talk to him. And God is looking at you like, what did she say? Like, what do you mean you're gonna move your devotional time with God to talk to this guy? The idea behind restricting your availability is just so that you keep your priorities in order and that you don't get too generous with your time. Because I'm like this, at least when I like someone, I will move stuff around, open up my entire schedule to fit somebody in it. We're not doing that anymore. I have this amount of free time during these days and these times. What's your schedule look like? And then from there, you guys get intentional about how you're gonna talk to each other and how you're gonna see each other. Number 3, I don't know if y'all are ready for this one. I might lose a few viewers when I say this, but it is what it is. Y'all just gotta hear me out, please. Number 3, avoid sexual activity. Yeah, I said it. We lost 3 viewers just now. A moment of silence. Okay. Avoid sexual activity because the right person can wait for you. You don't have to be religious to be celibate, to wait to have sexual activity with someone. I'm biased because I'm Christian. There's a great video on the ins and outs of celibacy from a Christian perspective, but that's not what this is about. I want you to think about this. When you're laying out your boundaries, when you first meet someone and you tell them that you're not having sex until marriage or whenever, I recommend waiting until marriage, but that's just me, I'm biased or whatever. You tell them that you're not having sex right now. If that's a deal breaker for them, then all you ever were for them was a body. You were an opportunity to scratch a sexual itch. Because out of all the things that they could have said no about, they chose the thing that they could get from you that was a deal breaker. Your body was all it took for them to be like, oh, I can't have your body. Not interested. It could have been anything about you, whether it be your bad habits, where you live, your schedule, what you believe, your personality. They could have chose any of those things to be a deal breaker, but as soon as you told them sexual activity was off the table, they want to dip or they have a problem with it, that's a sign that they came into it with an agenda of eventually having sexual relations with you. Whereas you probably went into it because you genuinely like this person, you wanted to get to know them, you wanted to be with them. They're already thinking about what benefits they can get from you, and as soon as they realize they can't get that benefit, they're out. They weren't worth it. One thing I want to talk about that I think is really problematic is the idea that you have to test drive sexual activity with somebody before you decide if you're going to be with them. That is a sign of immaturity. You know why? Because people are not cars. Sex is not some stagnant activity that can't change or improve. So anyone who treats you like, oh, if I don't know what your sex is like, I can't be with you, they don't have the emotional IQ to be with you in the first place. So let them go. Another point I want to make, emotional attachment often comes with sexual activity. Anyone who says that sex is just sex to them and there's no emotional attachments for them, they don't catch feelings, be very concerned for them. If they can turn off their emotional connection to sex, what else have they turned off emotionally? What other areas will they not be available to you? That would be a red flag to me. Like, you're not emotionally available when it comes to sex, so what else are you not available for? Don't date an unlocked character. You know those things that look like this when you're playing a video game and you gotta like be at a certain level to unlock what they look like? This is not a game. If all they can offer you is physical, how far is that gonna get you? You deserve more than somebody who can just provide the physical, and anyone who can't handle not getting your physical, like I said in the beginning, let them go. And speaking of sexual activity, this applies to how they touch you. So all the touchy-feely, you know, booty rubs, booty grabs, anything that you know might lead to things getting a little hot and steamy, restrict that too. And don't even allow yourself to be tempted. You know what I mean? Okay. Number 4, keep your options open. This one is very simple. When you go into something with someone acting like they're all there is, you're more likely to act from a place of desperation to avoid losing them. When you feel like this person is the only person and you have to keep them, you have to have them, you're more willing to sacrifice your standards, compromise your boundaries, ignore red flags, etc. out of the fear of losing this person because you think there's no one else. There is. Keep your options open, and this is mainly for like when you're dating single, because there's a difference between dating single and dating in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, you still go on dates, but when you're single, even though you're dating a particular person, you might not just be dating one person at a time. Some people can handle it. I personally have never mastered the art of having my options open, but I'm working on it. We always say there's plenty of fish in the sea, but we never act like it once we like somebody. So until they lock it down, until they make you their boyfriend or their girlfriend, there's other fish in the sea. They not the only one that's trying to be the only one. Word to Drake, because that was one of the coldest lines he ever said. Okay, last but not least, this one is my favorite. Number 5, don't give relationship privileges before you're in a relationship. Okay, figure out what the difference between dating while single and dating while in a relationship looks like for you, and then draw the line and make sure that they don't cross it unless they plan on making you their boyfriend or their girlfriend. For example, one of my boundaries that I've formed is I'm not kissing you if we're not in a relationship. Another one of my boundaries, you don't get lower back privileges. You know how guys like to put their hand on your lower back whenever you guys are walking into a place? Yeah, that's real cute. But if you're not my boyfriend, here and up. Here and up. Oh, you wanted lower back? You gotta upgrade your subscription, homie. If he's trying to come in for a kiss, upgrade your subscription. If you are giving it all away before this person even has to step it up and show that they want to commit to you, why would they bother committing to you when they're getting everything they could get from a relationship without having to put in relationship effort, without even having to make a relationship commitment to you? Why would you do that? Don't do that. Make them upgrade their subscription. Okay? If you know in your heart that you want a committed relationship from this person and you don't want to be in a situationship, yeah, I have a video about that coming very soon. If you don't want to be in a situationship, make them buy the full subscription if they want the premium features. And that's on what? Mary Had a Little Lamb.
And that's on who? Mary Had a Little Lamb. Okay? Okay? Okay.
All right, guys, that's it for this video. Those were the boundaries that I have for dating when you're single. Give this a thumbs up if this helped you, or if you liked this, if you agreed with anything I said. Feel free to drop a comment below. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Who knows when that'll be, because I have a 7-page paper due by Sunday. Have I started? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.